Resident Evil 4's remake of Capcom has finally been published and is a fantastic work. A great experience consisting of everything we liked about the original game, including a mysterious arms dealer and a chainsaw human monster. The remake of Capcom's 2005 version combines today's gameplay and storytelling, and with today's graphics, alongside the second edition remake, it is one of the best remakes made by Capcom, and most critics have praised the work. This remake has made it better than the 7th edition of the series, again seeing a return to the origins and history of the series, and better yet, the remakes released by Capcom have inspired many other classic horror titles, including the recently released Dead Space. Despite all this, the impact of the 4th edition of this series on contemporary horror games is unmissable, as most elements of this title can be seen in them. It is interesting to note that some fans of the Resident Evil series do not see the 4th version as a work that led to the series reaching its golden age, but rather a start to its downward trend. But what made the Resident Evil series change after the 4th edition? By the time Leon Scott Kennedy took over in Game 4, Capcom was committed to a rigorous, tested formula. Previous games well portrayed the horror style of survival. Fixed camera angles, ammunition, and limited wellness line, as well as manual storage, along with scary boss fights and, of course, the dispersion of zombies throughout the game were among the things that really emphasized this style. Resident Evil 4 was separated from this formula and became a pure action experience rather than dependent on panic elements. In the USA and Europe alone, more than 500,000 copies of the game went on sale in a month alone, and eventually totaled more than 12 million sales across several platforms, regardless of the remake version of the 4th edition. As after PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds release in 2016, most game makers moved to build Battle Royale experiences, developers also quickly brought some of Resident Evil 4's most widely used features, including the camera on the shoulder, to play it. The same is true of Capcom, which is looking to change its formula to create a disaster called Resident Evil 6. Of course, the company declared the game's disappointing sales, inadequate organizational collaboration, and parallel to making other titles. Perhaps the best evidence against the 6th edition of the series can be considered an immediate correction of the course of the series with the release of the 7th game in 2017, which was better in the context of fear than previous versions. After all, the remake of the 4th edition has been released, and again these discussions have become trending topics among Resident Evil fans. However, many fans will still love and experience this work. In short, these discussions have always been discussed by Resident Evil fans, and yet the series has continued to survive for many years. What do you think about this? Do you see the 4th version of Resident Evil as the reason for the drop in this series and later versions?